Hi, I'm Kass and this is Honey.
And we're regular Canadians enjoying weed. And we're here with Wendy.
Hey.
Introduce yourself.
I'm Wendy Shepherd. I'm a photographer in the cannabis space. And I focus mostly on photographing women and brands in the space. So I love to use... Did you say hell yeah?
Yeah, I did.
Hell yeah!
Hell yeah! I'm like,
Yeah.
Get it, girl! Like, you know, I love it.
One of my biggest passions is to empower women in the space with the art of photography.
That's awesome.
Well, you do a great job and you take amazing photos.
Thank you.
I mean, we've seen some of them from Miss Envy's party and
Stalking you on your Instagram.
and regularly stalking you.
It just came back to me as we were chatting here that when we met at that Miss Envy party wearing the beaver sweaters, like one of the first things I said to you, because we just come from like a 5-course infused dinner, so I was lit, right? Like, very big. I think we definitely smoked joints too, like it was just a whole thing. And then I meet you, and I think within honestly a couple of sentences, I said to you, so what, cannabis photo is like your shtick? And you were like, my shtick? I guess so. And I was like, why the fuck did I say shtick? Like, this is like amazing, like career, brand, amazing thing that she's working on. And I said shtick. Like,
I'm so glad I didn't witness that.
but it was great because you liked it. Like, you were like, oh, like, yeah, it is my shtick. Like, and it was so nice. And we were like, oh, yeah, like, it is actually, yes, I love to take photos in this film, blah, blah, blah. And I was just like, never say shtick to anyone.
I think
like, especially someone new. Like, my mates don't say it at all. But that's awesome. I mean, you do a great job of the cannabis shtick. So, I commend you. Shtick.
Are you a regular enjoyer?
Yes. Yes and no. I'm still actually in the exploratory phase for myself. I kind of came into the cannabis industry a few months ago, and I'm so passionate about it and like removing the stigma around it as well. But for me, like I was always someone who, when I was younger, I didn't actually smoke a lot of weed because I didn't have like the education to know how to smoke it well for me.
Yeah.
So I always had a lot of like kind of anxious experiences. Like I remember the first time I ever smoked weed, and it's not that it was a super bad experience, but I remember like seeing a jar of pickles in my boyfriend's fridge, and I was just like,
I'm gonna eat all.
What's happening? Like, that was the very first moment I was high because I saw the jar of pickles and I was like,
pickles, man.
Yeah.
What's up with
What could be weirder than pickles?
Like, what's going on? So, but anyway,
That's so funny. I
So,
like that a lot.
Yeah, so I'm actually like, I love though the idea of, for me personally, just like really consciously consuming for my body because I'm very, very sensitive. So this is really fun that we can try something new together.
Yeah.
And see how it goes.
So what made you go into photography?
That's a big question. I actually, what's coming to mind is the first moment I knew that I needed like a camera that I could control. And it was when a friend of mine were trying to like take pictures and freeze ourselves in the air, and we could not. And I remember like cursing, and being like, I need to control this. And so like after that, I ended up getting a camera, and it just kind of like developed from there.
And
It's a fun word.
I can't say it.
rumor has it you're going to be photographing these beavers one day.
Yeah.
So that'll be really fun.
Rumor has it.
Yay. I wonder how we're gonna go. Like, it's not the most comfortable, natural. Like,
Yeah,
I'm
we're
like,
really bad.
"Oh."
I'll make you look natural.
Well, I was about
Don't
to say,
you worry.
We're really bad
I got
at being
you.
anything but
Perfect.
awkward when photos come out.
But that's where the magician.
But that's the thing is like, the biggest thing I find with getting really like good, authentic images is creating the environment first. So like I always do that. Basically, I'm setting the vibe, like the tuner and rig. Like I'm like, just gonna set this just right, and then like all those amazing like genuine moments come out. You know, in order for them to show their true self in photography, you know, they have to be feeling it.
Yeah,
Right?
They have to be comfortable and they have to
Yeah.
be, I love that.
So,
I
yeah.
have never talked to a photographer this intensely.
I know.
I'm pretty deep.
We're not
I'm
used to our moms yelling at us and snapping photos.
Yes, seriously, that is it.
Yeah. I actually started in psychology. Like I went to school for psychology.
I told you that I told you.
Wait.
I knew.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay. That would
Yeah.
be useful, I think, in your current line of work also.
Definitely.
I think it's more useful than I thought it was going to be. Just so interested in how the human mind works, and I wanted to know how I could help people. But I went to school and I realized that like me as a psychologist, like that's not what it was. Like I had this passion for creating art that just wouldn't go away. I'm very sensitive to energy. So I can feel what people are feeling.
Yeah.
So when I'm taking their picture, like I can kind of see where they're at, and I can feel where they're at, and that's really helpful in like making people feel comfortable.
Yeah.
And so that's always really hard to like explain. Like if you're talking to someone and someone comes up to you and they're like, "What's your shtick?" I'm like, "Well,
Yeah. Some idiot comes and says that to you.
that's like a huge part of it. Is just like I see people and I take their picture, but I can also I also see them. So I give so much credit to everyone I take photos of because like you literally have to show up and be seen.
That does explain why you take such amazing photos.
Yeah.
It really does.
Thank you, yeah.
Because I look at those photos and you really can take a completely different vibe from anybody, right? Like your photos aren't just one type of photo, there's so many different kinds. And
Cannabis is this new space where we have the ability to do something we haven't done in other industries.
Yeah.
definitely, it's like a new industry. We have a chance to be there right at the beginning of it.
Yeah, and get, our
It means
50-50, like our, equality.
it means we have the chance to build the first truly non-patriarchal industry.
Right.
Like as in built
Yes.
by like an equal, diverse, both in the sexes and cultures and in all of the ways.
I really believe that like as women we have to like support each other in that because it's not just that we're jumping into a new industry, it's that we're like changing, we can like actively, powerfully change those roles or whatever through this space. I want every woman to have a portrait of themselves or a picture of themselves that they look at and they're like, yes. Like they can look at it and be like, I'm gonna fucking get up and I'm gonna go do it. Because we always forget our power and our light. And I want every woman to have a print of a picture of them and like hang it in their house. And when they get up, they can be like, fuck yeah, I'm gonna go do it.
What a great mission.
Sorry, that was my speech.
What a great
That's
mission.
exactly it. That's what women need to be reminded of. Exactly
Yes.
what you said. And to just own it. Like that is your power and you can give other people and other women that power. Like what you just described. It is, you're right, it's an act of bravery, posing for a photo, being able to do that, like putting yourself out there, and then the reward though, especially with someone like you to guide them through it, is like immense. That is amazing. That is what a mission. Yes.
Because it
Yes,
was like
do it.
a source of healing.
Of course.
And that's where it's cool that I, like all the time where I was in school for psych, I was like, I'm not going to be a psychologist, but like, so why am I feel like I can just do this, but why am I here? And it's like, because I naturally am a healer, but it turns out I'm going to heal through art and not through being a psychologist.
You're
so
combining
cool.
your passions.
Yes, it all makes sense.
I
That's
can't
amazing.
wait
I know,
for our turn to feel the magic.
Seriously.
Me neither.
Right.
Especially now you know my secrets.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening.
Oh, well, thank you for having us.
If you're a woman in the cannabis space and you want a photo, let's
Definitely.
do it.
Look Wendy up on Instagram, and we're going to use her to take our photos, and
We're going to add to her cannabis shtick portfolio.
we're going to
And
stick
that's
our
the
shtick on her shtick.
Or
Enjoy
not,
responsibly and don't drive high. Stick or no stick.
No. Oh my gosh, I keep losing my track of thought.
the Maui Wowie.
I know the Maui
The
Wowie.
Maui Wowie,
It's dead shit.
that was some good
Exactly.
shiz.
The Maui Wowie
That was
is
some
dead
level
shit.
5 shiz.
No,